Thank you so much. Let us appreciate our registrar, Madam Fena. Then I want to introduce or to bring to us our Deputy Principal in charge of academics, Mr. Dirango. Karibu sana.
Asante. All protocols observed. Good evening. We are expecting Principal to be here anytime. So I think when he comes, we'll give him a chance to talk to you. This is a special day for us all, and we are here to make sure that we hear or we listen to these candidates and make our informed choices. The three gentlemen, when any one of you was born, God knew one will be the president here in Kinap. One of you. Lakini hiyo ni siri yake. Na hiyo siri itajulikana on Thursday. So, hapa mjitetee, you convince them, but you know there is God in heaven who knows who. And even the questions, the way you are going to answer, you'll be led by God to convince them the right thing. So, me, I wish you God's blessings. Listen carefully to the questions. Then you answer diligently. You convince. There are some people here who even don't know you. They would like to hear your voice. And you convince them why they should vote for you and not the other person. So these people are anxious. Make sure that you convince them that on Thursday they vote for you. And thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dirango, our Deputy Principal in charge of academics, and for your remarks. We really appreciate. As he has mentioned, we are expecting the principal, the chief principal, anytime. Once he comes, we will introduce him. So at this moment, I want to invite Mr. Kirui to open for us with a word of prayer.
Good evening. I'll request that we all rise up so that we can have a word of prayer. Let us pray. Our faithful God, the creator of the heavens and earth, Lord, we praise your name this evening for your faithfulness. Lord, you know the event that is before us, that is the presidential debate. How we pray, dear Father, that you may even allow the students to make the right decision and also vote for the best candidate, oh Lord. How I pray also for the candidates, you may give them confidence, you may give them a way to articulate their words well so that they may win the votes. We praise you so much for Kinap, for blessing us in a very abundant way, and how we pray that this event may be successful and come to an end well. It's our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kirui. And now I would like to ask all of us to start so that we can start off with the national anthem. Tusimame. East African national anthem. Thank you very much. Watu wa media team, tuwasamee. All right, thank you very much for your time. All our candidates, we want to wish you all the best. I'm about to exit stage. So as we start this debate, as Mr. Dirango has said, articulate your issues, talk to them, because they are the people who will give you their votes on Thursday, and may the best candidate win. At this moment, I want to welcome Madam Judy Githaiga, who will take over the program from here. Let us welcome Madam Judy Githaiga. She's our drama patron.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocol observed. I'll go right away to the rules that we need to observe. I'll start with the candidates. The aspiring candidates, these are the ground rules. Number 1, you need to address each other with respect. 2, conduct yourselves with decorum. 3, extend honor to viewers and audience. That is, address them with all the respect. 4, observe ethical conduct on the days. 5, have no written material or phone for use during the debate. I hope you've left your phones behind, or they are off. No written or writing material. 6, the aspiring candidates, you need to adhere to your time. Each question that you'll be asked has a specific time set for it. Answer it within the specified time. A bell shall be rung when your time is up. Once the bell goes, kindly stop and give a chance to the next candidate that will be called out. Then each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute to counter on an opponent's response. We don't have strictly to stick to the division in the timing. The time is yours to decide how much you use to answer your own question and how much time you shall use to counter an opponent's ideas or ideologies. Then lastly, we have 4 panelists who are going to take us through, and they're going to do self-introduction. Panelists, kindly.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Evelyn Murimi, a student pursuing diploma in ICT. Good luck to the candidates, and let's listen as we hear what our future leaders has for us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Kinapsa. So I'm Alex Njuguna, a student in the Building and Civil Engineering Department. Today I'm one of the panelists, and you're all welcome.
All protocols observed. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Mothoni Morege, a student in Kinapsa in Business Department pursuing a diploma in Project Management, and I'm happy to be one of your panelists. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Peter Anthony Njoroge, a student doing diploma in electrical engineering, telecommunication to be specific, and to our presidential aspirants, we now wish you all the best. I'll be the timekeeper for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those are our panelists, and I want to assure you they are quite impartial. They are not affiliated to any of the presidential candidates. Now let's come to the rules pertaining to the audience. These are the house rules for the audience. Number 1, desist and refrain from cheering, booing, clapping, or making noise while in the hall. So kindly, no more clapping. Just listen to the candidate and digest. After you are done, you're going out, you will make your own informed decision. So no clapping, no cheering, no booing. It's just you to sit down and listen. 2, keep your phones on silent mode. 3, maintain decorum and avoid distractions through unnecessary movement. If one must move, then do so during the short breaks that we are going to be having. 4, the candidates will be given an equal opportunity to answer questions and to express themselves only when asked to. So there should be no pushing from the audience for a specific candidate. 5, students will be given a chance to ask questions via a link that is going to be shared. And the questions shall be answered by the specific candidates during the last session of the debate. So kindly check out for the link. I think it should have been sent by now. As you ask the question, direct it to a specific candidate, and it's going to be fielded, and then the candidates shall answer. Then, as is best practice, we hereby assure you that the questions being asked here have not been shared with any of the candidates, students, panelists, or any member of staff. So nobody has had prior indulgence with the question. They're just going to be fielded right here and now. And this presidential debate has 5 sessions of about 15 minutes each. And we have a minute or so break in between. So during the breaks, the audience can converse in low tones, but above all, maintain order. So thank you very much. And now I invite the panelists to take over.
So, welcome, Mr. Edward Menge. Welcome. You have 2 minutes to make your opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity in this afternoon that you have granted to me to conversate with my fellow comrades. With all the protocols observed, I am Edward Menge, a third-year student from Building and the Civil Department, specifically undertaking civil engineering. I have attested myself to contest for the presidential debate because I know I'm able and I'm capable to undertake that position. Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. John Washuri. You have 2 minutes to make your opening statements.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my respected panelists and also esteemed members of audience, my fellow candidates here, and also more so and most importantly, the student of KINAP. Good afternoon. Yes, my name is John Washuri, and I'm also known as Armstrong. I'm from ICT department, undertaking diploma in information communication technology, and I'm a third year. I believe that this is the time that has come for the student of KINAP to know where they belong, what they do, and how they should do things. My ambition is yet, to be complete, because we need to do things the way they should be done. And all things that pertains a student and all things that a student should be having in this great institution. So I know that I am equal to the task because I know myself, and I have also attested myself. And also some of you have attested my leadership in different positions, and I know that I am equal to the task. So welcome so much to the panel, and just enjoy yourselves and also ask your questions. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Mr. Ronnie Otieno. You have 2 minutes to make your opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you for this chance. All protocols observed. Good evening. Okay, my name is Ronnie Otieno, a student from the Civil Engineering Department, pursuing a course, Civil Engineering Level 6. Actually, I'm glad to be among the presidential aspirants this year, 2025. As a saying goes, leadership is not all about titles nor names, but leadership is all about delivering services to us comrades. Just as my slogan states, that power back to comrades. Thank you. Mr. John, this question goes to you. Kindly talk about your manifesto and you clarify to us why you want to be the Kinapsa president.
Thank you so much. When I joined this institution, at that time it used to be called KIAMBU Institute of Science and Technology. And I must say, and I must affirm that I never wanted to be here in the first place. I really wanted to be in a university or a campus. But the moment that I joined here and I started interacting with my fellow colleagues outside here, I came to notice that this is a very, very interesting place to be. And also it's a place where I can get my, an exposition and also exposure to who I am and what I want to become in future. So when I was writing my manifesto, there were some areas that I literally checked on. And one of them is we really needed to bring a togetherness, oneness between us and the administration. The student feels that they no longer have that part to be together with administration. So that is one of them. The second one is also the transparency and also the clearness in terms of the flow of information. Number two, my manifesto also revolves around the education sector and also bringing us comrades together and also bringing us to a productive institution. Then the last thing that I can say for now is that when we look at ourselves as comrades, we need to understand that we are no longer living in times that when people used to dictate who we are, what we can do, or where we can go. But we are people who have their power, who knows where they want, what they want, where they are going, and who they are, and what they really, literally need in their lives. So decision all lies to the comrades and also to their leaders who are going to be in the office, and they are going to be accountable in whatever thing that they are going to do. So also my manifesto also brings about our sex education as part of our life. So thank you so much.
Mr. Edward Menge, this question is directed to you. Kindly explain or talk about your manifesto as you clarify to us why you want to be the Kinapsa president. You have 4 minutes.
Now, thank you. And thank you for this opportunity again. My manifesto is definitely tackling the problems the comrades are facing through. In the year 2022, I was enrolled as a student in this school. From that time, I decided that let me start to be a leader. And that's why I chose to be a class representative. From there, I have been going through a lot. And the going through that I was going through is the same my fellow comrades are going through. So I came up with an idea. Why should I not come out to defend my fellow comrades? That's why I am here, to defend you, and also to defend myself in particular. Again, we are here to serve both in short term and in long term. If I can help the fellow comrades that I am with now, I'm serving in a short term. And if I will do an extra mile to help for those who are going to come, I will do a long-term service. From my manifesto, I am tackling what we call academic excellence. This academic excellence is what brought us here. From there, these academics, we are being hindered as comrades to get those skills. On which way? Comrades need to be given light. Light to explore fully for them to acquire the skills they came for. Again, out of education, we have different people with different talents. I also have a talent, but I'm not exploiting it. Why? Because we lack support. This support, I'm here to bring it free when I will resume the office. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, this question is directed to you. Kindly explain or talk about your manifesto as you clarify to us why you want to be the Kinapsa president. You have 4 minutes.
Thank you for the question. Okay, personally, I joined this school 2023, and so far, it is 2 years, and I've really noticed that fellow comrades are really facing some difficulties. One, first problem at the gate. The biometric is a big and a greater issue. And therefore, once a wise man said, if you want to solve a problem, first create another problem to solve the main problem. I came with an idea, actually, and I said, we want to do away with the biometrics. But the administration will ask us, yes, biometric is for security purposes. What will take charge or will replace the biometrics? Then I came up with an idea, a scanner that looks like a door. Actually, a scanner can serve 10 students within a minute. So in place of the biometrics, their administration should do what? Replace it with a scanner. That is one. Two, when we come into the school, actually, our main reason being here is for academic purposes. And therefore, I saw it wise that skating activity also matters in our daily lives. This skill will help us at least in seeking job opportunities and also in our daily activities. Three, we are here doing research activities, learning, and also furthermore, doing academical work. And therefore, for this, we students, we do pay 1,000 shillings for the Wi-Fi. And in real sense, Wi-Fi ni kitu hakuna. And that is the reality. Those are the prior things that I saw it is wise for us to advocate for. Apart from that, open door policy. Actually, the office of the president has never been open for all the candidates for all the comrades to do what? At least to receive a place to be advocated for. And therefore, once elected the president of this greater institution, I'll advocate for open door policy, whereby the president have got a right ticket to address the principal directly with the grievances affecting us comrades. Lastly, the e-learning process. At least we should have an online library access to our new students, and most of us, they don't have access to the online books. And therefore, when elected to be the next president of this school, I'm ready to advocate for comrades with much commitment and reliance with the comradeship. Thank you.
Mr. Edward, what skills and capabilities do you possess that make you suitable as a president? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. I have got so many skills that can enable me to be the Kinapsa president. First one, I have been a reader in this school, and I have exploited what I can do, and I can do it better. And number two, in my village, I'm a youth reader in the entire world. So, if I have been a reader for that, why should I not be a reader in this institution? And number three, I am a civil engineering student. I'm a supervisor from the company called the Memora Construction Limited. I do learn projects in myself. So in that, I believe that I am a reader, and I will be a reader in Kinapsa. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, what skills and capabilities do you possess that make you suitable as a president? You have 1 minute.
Thank you once again for the question. As a leader, you must be equipped with several skills. But as for my case, I will dwell only on 3 skills. 1, communication skills. I have been a class rep, and through sharing or delivering ideas to my fellow students, I came to learn that listening skill is also a factor that must be placed into consideration. And therefore, through listening skills and the communication skills, it brings a greater bond between leadership and comradeship. 2, teamwork. Teamwork, I explain it this way. For a team to be a team, there must be trust within the membership. And therefore, once elected, I'll also advocate for teamwork, because via teamwork, Mr. John.
Let's observe the house rules. No clapping, no booing. Just listen and digest. Thank you.
Mr. John, this question is directed to you. What skills and capabilities do you possess that make you a suitable president in Kinapsa? You got 1 minute.
Thank you so much. Must say that when I was in primary school, all the way to where I am right now, I've also been a leader all through. I've been a class prefect in primary school, all the way from class 3 to class 8. Repeating again in class 8, I've been also a prefect. And when I went to high school, I've been also a class rep. In Form 3, I became the academic prefect in my high school. And also, I became the CU chair in my high school. From there, I have been a youth representative in my sub-county until now. which I'll be handing over in next year, 2026. Right now, I am a class rep in my class, and also I am a chair of 156 churches in our region. That is Larry. That one equips me with all the skills that I need in terms of accountability, in terms of transparency, and also hard work as part of my life. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, aspiring candidates. We will take 10 seconds break. You can sip some water. Order. We now move to the next sessions. This is the second session. Panelists, kindly take over.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, looking back at the previous student council government, what did they do well, and what would you have done differently if you were the president then? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. Generally, the previous government, it is a history in KINAP that is made. The initial government, they released a bursary award that has never been released in KINAP. The highest having gotten 10,000 shillings and above, and the least getting 4,500 shillings. And many people got that bursary. 2, the previous government, in general, there were no shades. But as we can see, at least a little change is a greater change. Look at the Jivanji Arena and the G Square. There are shades. And for my case, if given that chance, I'll advocate for more shades. Thank you.
Mr. Edward, this question is directed to you. Looking back at the previous student council government, what did they do well, and what would you have done differently if you were the president then? You have 1 minute.
Thank you. The previous government was just, it did work, but it didn't do the work according to our expectations. We expected, we as comrade, to be defended fully from oppression and mistreat from the other forms of the minors. Number 2, if I was to be the president of Kinapsa, I'm here to champion for what was not done fully, and I will do it and amend it in the correct way. By amending them, I will amend both in short term and long term. That is what I've been advocating for. We are here together for the future generations. Thank you.
Mr. John, this question is directed to you. Looking back at the previous student council governments, what did they do well, and what would you have done differently if you were the president then? You got 1 minute.
Thank you. What did they do well? Looking back at it, and I wonder what they did. One, we are in the same place we are in at that time. If I was to do a statistics here of those people that benefited maybe from some of the things that have been mentioned here, it will be discouraging in this platform. And what would I have done better? One, first of all, you need to include everybody. How? is by checking very well who deserves this chance, what to do, and what kind of a person are we giving this. You don't have to give around 10,000 Kenyan shillings to a student who doesn't need that, or else there's someone who has around 64,000 Kenyan shillings as a debt. So if I have been there, I believe I'll have been having that time of having a conversation with every comrade. Thank you.
Mr. Edward, one aim or objective of Kinapsa is to maintain harmonious relations between and among students, staff, and KINAP administration, as well as to uphold the good name of KINAP. How do you plan to achieve this? You have 1 minute.
We understand that for we to be successful as Kinapsa, we need communication. And for each and every institution, communication is the key factor for anything. Now, we are comrades here. Others, we get information at late hours. I have evidence from my fellow comrades that there is a red reach out of information. So I will ensure that every information that comes from the administration, it reaches out through the information minister and reaches to the comrades at the final time. It will be used fully. And number 2, I'm here to defend everything that concerning comrades fully. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, one aim or objective of Kinapsa is to maintain harmonious relations between and among students, staff, and KINAP administration, as well as to uphold the good name of KINAP. How do you plan to achieve this? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. But in real sense, we have to know and acknowledge that within us comrades, there are issues that delivering to the Kinapsa Council is a challenge. And if I'm elected to be the next president of this school, I will advocate for an open forum whereby the administration is part of the forum, all comrades is part of that forum, and the Kinapsa Council is part of that forum. This will result to reasoning between comrades, Kinapsa, and understanding driven by the administration. And therefore, I do look forward to do what? To deliver through open platform for all comrades. Thank you.
Mr. John, this goes to you. One aim or objective of Kinapsa is to maintain harmonious relations between and among students, staff, and the KINAP administration, as well as to uphold the good name of KINAP. How do you plan to achieve this? You got 1 minute.
Thank you. I believe so much of inclusivity, whereby you have to bring everybody on board. And respect is a two-way traffic, whereby when you respect me, I will definitely respect you. I've interacted with some of our staffs around, mostly the non-teaching staffs who are working around. And they have said that most of us, we accord them the respect, and some of us don't do so. And what about the administration? We want, and I believe so much as first manifesto I have, is just to have. Right now we have a debate. You are listening to us. You'll be asking us questions. And that is the same thing that I want us to be doing. We need to be having leaders who are going to be accountable in whatever action they will be doing, so that those are called the open forums. That is my first manifesto, whereby you need to answer you need to ask your question, why is this has been happening, how is it has been happening, and how can we be adjust all these kind of things. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, Accountability is defined as taking ownership to ensure priorities are achieved. How can students hold you and your government accountable for your actions in office? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. As we all know, a true leader must be accountable for his or her subjects. And therefore, the welfare of students must be raised into a paramount level. And therefore, once elected as the Kinapsa president, I will advocate for these monthly financial reports from the Kinapsa accounts, and these shall be led by a committee that stands in for comrades, so that during open forums, as I had stated earlier, the comrades are aware on how their resources are managed. And also, according to school fee issues, they are addressed accordingly. Thank you.
Mr. John Washori, this question is for you. Accountability is defined as taking ownership to ensure priorities are achieved. How can students hold you and your government accountable for your actions in office? You have 1 minute.
Thank you. As I said when I was making my my opening remarks, it's all about accountability and transparency. You cannot be accountable unless you are transparent and unless you are very honest. And I believe, checking in the previous governments that have been there, I was there during the time of Lewis, there was time Lawrence, there was time of Moses, and also I have been there during the time of the interim government that has been there. And looking back, I see there has been so much vagueness in it. And how are you going to hold me accountable in that? Is by having that conversation, all of us. And I believe when we say that we need that auditing and when we need that monthly report, I believe not everybody will be having that. So we need a system that everybody can be able to access, and you see, this is the kind of things that we have been having as the student or the Kinapsa, so that we can be able to be very transparent.
Mr. Edward, accountability is defined as taking ownership to ensure priorities are achieved. How can students hold you and your government accountable for your actions in office? You have 1 minute.
Thank you. We need to understand that when you elect Menge as a president, what is the role of Menge? Menge is going to act as a bridge from comrades to the administration. Now, for you to be accountable, the bridge must be strong. If you give me your grievances to the administration, the administration needs to give me a crucial answer that I'm going to come back with it. But if I will not get the answer, and the administration needs to come and address the comrades favoring on the same question that I posted to them. Thank you.
Thank you. You may sip some water as you move to the next session. Order. We move to the next session. Panelists.
Mr. John Washori, this question is directed to you. A very high percentage, approximately 90% of the students reside outside the institution. Within our neighboring community, what will you do to encourage positive students' behavior that will foster good students or community relation and uphold the good name of KINAP? You have 1 minute.
Thank you so much. I'm amongst those people who reside outside, and I know how the people from outside view us. Number one, we need to understand and we need to bring our students to the understanding of why are we here. Number one, we are here because of our education. We need to have the knowledge. Number two, we need to have and to understand that for us to be, when we are outside there, we are not interacting with our fellow students. We are interacting with educated people, illiterate people, and all kinds of ethnicity around us. And so we need to restrain ourselves from all within us and all what we have, so that we can be able to fit in. And that one will come when we shall be holding open forums here, that the students, when we know things are coming from outside and they are affecting us as students, how we are living outside there, then I believe that when we shall be having open forums, even the administration shall be giving us the way of people that are supposed to guide us in terms of our behaviors outside. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, a very high percentage, approximately 90% of students reside outside the institution within our neighboring community. What will you do to encourage positive student behavior that will foster good student-community relations and uphold the good name of KINAP? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. One thing we have to understand, the welfare of our fellow comrades. Initially, I'd stated among my skills, communication skills. And under the communication skills, we have got our listening skills. When we share through a dialogue via students, through an open forum, whereby comrades are engaged and they share their ideas and minds openly, then it will be very easier via the guidance and counseling office, at least to create forums and platforms for at least dialogue, advices, and also mental and health health treatment, because you know most of us actually we suffer mentally, and sharing that is a greater challenge. So when we share as comrades, then it is good. Thank you.
Mr. Edward, a very high percentage, approximately 90% of students reside outside the institution within our neighboring community. What will you do to encourage positive student behavior that will foster good student-community relations and uphold the good name of KINAP? You have 1 minute.
Now, thank you for the question. We all understand that an evil mind thinks evil. From that, when we are idle outside, that's when we are reciting from outside. We think what is not correct. But we have a solution as Team Menge to eradicate the same issue. The same issue will be eradicated by coming up with sporting activities. The clubs within the institution be boosted to an extent that it accommodates everybody in this institution, for each and everyone to participate in them and have fully engaged. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, how do you and your government plan to address the growing issue of drug and alcohol abuse amongst the students in KINAP to ensure your comrades are not lost in these menace? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. As my vision states, I want to be a visionary, and again, on the other end, I want to be a source of motivation to my fellow comrades. Matters related to drugs. One, we have to understand the welfare, as I had stated earlier, the welfare of each and every student, because many of us do undergo mental and health challenges. And therefore, I'll advocate for open forums, guided or led by the guidance and counseling officers. At least they do what we advocate for, that change, so that it it be at a lower rate. Thank you.
Mr. John Washori, this question goes to you. How do you and your government plan to address the growing issue of drug and alcohol abuse to ensure your comrades are not lost in these menace?
Thank you. I must start by saying that, like yesterday, we had a tournament amongst ourselves in here, which was very active, and so many of the comrades here were really enjoyed. And I myself, using the influence I have as a leader, as a youth representative, that gives me a very well platform for me to be able to engage with the Ministry of Sports and Culture, KIAMBU County, whereby we are going to support ourselves in terms of sports and all diverse when it comes to sports. We are going to support and also fund different clubs around ourselves, so that every comrade every comrade is going to be involved, and also is going to bring to be concentrated much when it comes to sport and also other diversities. And we are going to bring some changes which are going to be very interactive when it comes to maybe the Dr. Virginia's office, that is guidance and counseling. Thank you.
Mr. Edward Menge, how do you and your government plan to address the growing issues of drug and alcohol abuse amongst the students in KINAP to ensure your comrades are not lost in this menace? You have a minute.
Now, thank you for the question. We understand that drugs are taking us in a wrong way. And for that, we need to come up with a solution on how to eradicate or reduce them. We have got people who have been using those drugs and they have been saved out of them. I and my team, we will advocate to bring those people who have been saved to take us through what was the effect of them, what brought them out of it, and we believe that we will get out of it. And even when you are being told the effect of a substance, you yourself, you know its effect, and you will eradicate it. Thank you.
Mr. John, what are your plans on the Kinapsa bursary that supports needy students in their fee payments? You have 1 minute.
Thank you so much. As I said in my introduction, is that I have a good platform. When I am a sub-county representative, that has given me an opportunity to have interacted with different kinds of leaders when it comes to maybe the county government of KIAMBU, and also amongst other leaders around the country. So that gives me an opportunity to discuss our issues with them and tell them, MP Githongori, what are you going to give us? Because some of the students that are in KINAP, they belong from your county. MP Ruiru and all MPs around, and they give us a certain amount. We go to Safaricom, we go to banking institutions where there are so many people around who are looking for people to sponsor, but it is us as leaders who have not, in quotes I say, kujituma, so that we can be able to bring as much as we can for our students. So when we bring together all that amount together with what we have, around what we give, 2.5, I know we are going to increase the number of the people who benefits from the bursary. Thank you.
Mr. Edward Menge, what are your plans on the Kinapsa bursary that supports needy students in their fee payment? You have 1 minute.
Now, thank you. We all understand that Kinapsa is run by a budget. We do draft a budget that is going to run the same bursary. For instance, when a comrade applies for a bursary, he is in the mind that if I apply for this, I'm going to get this support. Mine was, yes, of course, we are getting the bursaries, but why should a comrade apply for the bursary and finally, he will not receive the amount designated for. We all know that when the budget is out, it is used to determine the number of bursaries to be out and even the amount. I'm here to advocate for it. FL member who will apply for the bursary, he will get it in a correct manner and the correct amount. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, what are your plans on the Kinapsa bursary that supports needy students in their fee payment? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. Facts will tell, and reality will be realistic. For the bursary purpose, we need an open forum whereby before the bursary forms are disbursed, all students, all comrades are involved, and a prompt announcement is made in which all the deserving comrades get the idea on how to apply for the bursary forms. Because most of us, we do not know the forms to do what? To insert and leave, most probably. And again, actually, bursary is meant for all of us comrades to the deserving students. And therefore, I'll rather advocate that via the open forum, all the deserving comrades, they do what? They get their deserve.
Thank you very much. Brace yourselves for round 4 before we move to the specific one for your manifestos. Thank you. Panelists, take over. We are now in round 4. Thank you.
Mr. Edward Menge, this question is directed to you.
If you're moving out, move silently, please.
The President upholds the objectives of the Kinapsa Constitution. One such objective is to assist in disseminating the right information and correct interpretation of the institution's policies. How will you ensure that this is done? You have a minute.
Now, thank you for the question. We all have the ministries from the president, deputy, downwards. I and my government, I will ensure that each section derives its way to operation. For instance, let's say if it's an information, the Minister for Information, he will ensure that all the comrades get the information that is designated for us in a correct way. And I myself, I will be on toes to amend it and make it the comrades get the correct information and at the correct time. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, the President upholds the objective of the Kinapsa Constitution. One such objective is to assist in disseminating the right information and correct interpretation of the institution's policies. How will you ensure that this is done? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. Just earlier before, while I was going through the Constitution, I came to understand that Article 3.1, Roman 1, talks about the objective of the President. And therefore, I answer the question this way. As we know, in the Kinapsa Council, we have got the executive. And therefore, the work of the executive is to be held responsible for even the welfare of us comrades. And therefore, with the reliance of the executive, we will advocate for the objectives. Thank you.
Mr. John, the President upholds the objective of the Kinapsa Constitution. One such objective is to assist in disseminating the right information and the correct interpretation of the institution's policy. How will you ensure that this is done? You have 1 minute.
Thank you. I must say that we have the executive that also deals with such, and they are designated. One thing is that we need, first of all, we ourselves as leaders, we need to understand what are our objectives, what are our responsibilities and duties. The moment you understand what are your duties, responsibilities, you'll be able to designate this, the rest to the others. When you go to the information, you go to health, when you go to SG and all of them. So the thing here is, first of all, you understanding as leaders, the executive, what are your roles, responsibilities, and duties, and are you going to exactly execute them as you are expected, as part of the comrades are going to hold you accountable, and are you going to be transparent? Are you going to be people who are going to be brought on point when it comes to designating? Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, student engagement helps in promoting a sense of belonging and inclusivity. How do you plan to engage all students in the Polytechnic's activities and keep them involved in the matters concerning the institution? For example, sports day, clubs, opening day, etc. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. As we all know, involving ourselves in sport games, at least it will help us in mental relief. And therefore, when elected the president of KINAP, I'll also advocate for the introduction of skating activity. And this will help in advancing our skills as comrades. Thank you.
To Mr. John, student engagement helps in promoting a sense of belonging and inclusivity. How do you plan to engage all the students in the Polytechnic's activity and keep them involved in the matters concerning the institution? Example, sports day, club, open day, etc.
Thank you so much. I must say that when, like yesterday, we had that tournament, which really the comrades really enjoyed it. That means that even on the interdepartmental games, people really enjoyed themselves. And also, when I say that I'm going to work together with the Ministry of Sports and Culture in KIAMBU County, together with other people who are very much interested in sports and also supporting young people to showcase their talents in different fields, I mean it. And how are we going to do that? We are going to support each and every one of them. We are going to help them to be able to gain skills in terms of training them. If they are those in sports, they are going to be trained. Those in chess, they are going to be trained. Those in drama, they are going to be trained. Those who do art, they are going to be trained. And also, we are going to, to bring those people to motivate them. So, there is a girl here, I believe that she was telling me that she belongs to Athletic Kenya. And thank you.
Mr. Edward Menge, student engagement helps in promoting a sense of belonging and inclusivity. How do you plan to engage all students in the Polytechnic activities and keep them involved in matters concerning the institution, example, sports days, clubs, open days, etc.? You have a minute.
Now, thank you for the question. We all understand that sports are the core for our talents. And the sports cannot be sports if there is no motivating factor for it. I am here to advocate that in every member who joins any club, any sporting activity should be motivated. We are comrades. We don't have work. If we get a motivating factor from the sport we are in, we will appreciate it. And then number two, for the clubs. We have got clubs. I have received complaints that they lack support. You find that a club is going for an out without support. They are supporting for themselves. Now I'm here as Edward Menge to champion for fully support. Since we are here and we need to use our resources fully. Thank you.
Mr. John, how do you intend to help instill a learning culture among students to bring a positive change in their general academic achievements?
Thank you so much. One of the ways that we can promote our learning is by having, and I quote it, which is a very common word, kujituma. When you understand the reason as to why I, as Armstrong, I am here because of my studies, then I believe that is one of the self-motivation that you'll be having. Number two, when we join in our groups, I believe each and every class here, we have different groups in terms of different units that you do. What you do, or how do you do the studies, that you challenge each other in terms of questioning, in terms of doing your work early, and also when we go to our library, we want to, what are the materials that are there that can motivate us? Is there a network that can help us in terms of our research? For those of us who are doing a project, right now, I'm actually even right now thinking of what is my project that I'm supposed to present to Mr. Gabriel. So when I interact with each and every one of us, we are going to have a thing in common.
Mr. Edward, how do you intend to help instill a learning culture among students to bring a positive change in their general academic achievement? You have a minute.
Now, thank you. We as comrades, e-learning, it depends on internet. And this internet, we are paying for it. If you can look at your fee structure, it is stating that you are paying 1,000 for the internet. As we are in here, we need to get that internet for it to help us. Wherever you are, you can browse anything that you need for you to be successful out of it. And this internet, it is available in some areas. And in these areas, it is not strong enough to serve this population of ours. We need it to be increased and to be put in different places for as much comrades to acquire it for it, because we pay for it. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, how do you intend to help instill a learning culture among students to bring a positive change in their general academic achievement? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. But first of all, we have to note that where is the problem? Yes, there can be Wi-Fi, lakini tutaketi wapi? Tutaketi kwa nyasi? So hivyo. And therefore, once elected the Kinapsa president, I'll advocate for academic shades, at least within the Jivanje, G Square, and the library ground, so that our learning is made easier. Wi-Fi ni kitu hakuna sahi. So therefore, I'll advocate for the adjustment of the Wi-Fi. The downer departments lack even the router for the Wi-Fi. And therefore, such things will help us in research and also advancing our academic process. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are now moving to the last session, which is candidate specific. It's based on your manifesto. Then after that, we shall field questions from your comrades. Panelists, take over.
Mr. Edward, this question is directed to you. What co-curricular activities have you been involved in during your stay in KINAP and any achievements? You have a minute.
Thank you for the opportunity. I myself, I am a good jaffera, and I throw that jaffera in a very long distance. I think for it, I think I am good in it, and I'm advocating for it, and I will support the whole jaffering team and the entire clubs. Thank you.
Audience, let's adhere to the rules, respect the candidates. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, what co-curricular activities have you been involved in during your stay in KINAP and any achievement? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. Most probably known to the very few. Once earlier, last year, maybe, yeah, I had involved myself in drama club, actually in the presentation of a choral verse. And therefore, I'll rather advocate for that, and for the drama club, I'll also advocate for the team and any other club in general. Thank you.
Mr. John, what co-curricular activities have you been involved during your stay in KINAP, and what milestones have you achieved in the activities?
Well, I must acknowledge that I have not been in any of it, which is very true. And I have been in other places. And in those places I have explored and I've seen and I've checked and I've seen that there are some other areas that we also need to look at ourselves in. For example, when you go to the people that are always down here, they do choral verse. I look at them and I admire their voices, and I look and I ask myself, what if we bring more of their trainings? What if I myself, I want to join them, but how will I join them? You know, we need to know that when someone joins here, we need to bring them to every area, and they need to know that there's a certain activity that happens in our school. And so that is a call to us as people and also administration that you need to do that. Thank you.
Mr. Edward Menge, kindly explain your vision statement as spelled out in your manifesto. You have a minute.
Thank you for the question. My vision, it is to upgrade the comrades' power to be listened. From the administration, we need to have a way that the comrades have raised an issue. How are we going to solve it? And we solve it for free, not that we solve it for this government and for the coming government. We are not going to solve it. So I'm here, I'm championing for it. This vision for me, I'm here to work for a long-term service for even those who are going to come in past me. Thank you.
Mr. John, explain how you will go about bringing students together and bridging up between students and the KINAP administration as stated in your manifesto. You have a minute.
Thank you so much. I said earlier that right now we are having a debate for the presidential candidates. And if you look around here, almost the whole administration is here. And also that one means that we have drawn their attention to us, right? And that means that whenever we are going to be having those open forums, they will be here together with us so that a question can be posed to a certain office, and that office is going to be responsibly answering to it direct to the student rather than a student answering another student. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, from your manifesto, item 2,
You promise to agitate for advanced healthcare facilities in KINAP. Briefly tell us about these facilities and the mode of agitation you will use to have them in place if elected Kinapsa president. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. One thing we have to understand, there is power in dialogue. And therefore, via the administration and the comradeship, we have to understand that technology advances each and every place. And therefore, I'll advocate for an advanced technology. At least our resources are not manipulated outside, but leading to the advancement of other infrastructure here in KINAP. Thank you.
Mr. Edward, based on your manifesto, you intend to increase funding and support for sports teams and cultural activities. How do you intend to achieve this? You have a minute.
Thank you. As I said that comrades, when they join sports, they need support. And this support is going to come from this way. The administration is here. We need to interrogate with them and have a solution on how are we going to fund these guys who are engaging in sporting activities. Because even if, as you look at our school fees, there is money that is allocated for sporting activities. Thank you.
To Mr. John, how do you intend to achieve transparent issuance of internal bursaries? 1 minute.
Thank you so much. I must say that when that thing was popping into my mind, I was looking back in how our village or how my sub-county has been issuing out bursaries. We are advancing in terms of technology, and I need to say that I, as an ICT student, I understand that nowadays we can make it easier for each and every student, whereby we can actually give a chance to the students in, for example, in ICT, those who are good in coding, to come up with a system that each and every student, you have a chance. You have a chance to put in your details in terms of every detail that you need as you apply for your bursary. And then, if you do not qualify to have that bursary, then definitely it will block you out. And if you qualify to have that bursary, then you will have an access of continuing with the process of applying that bursary. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, how will you implement the open door policy as stated in your manifesto? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. Indeed, it is a right question. According to my manifesto, number 3, it talks about open door policy. If elected the Kinapsa president, the office of the president will be open for all comrades, for all students with their grievances. And apart from the executive committee, I'll be ready to form a general committee which will be ready to understand comrades. For instance, there at the gate, we comrades face a great challenge whereby a security officer finds a comrade with an issue and directly takes the comrade to the principal's office or the deputy or the dean. And therefore, I advocate that once elected, the problems will be first addressed in the presidential office. If a need arises, we will invite the dean. Thank you.
Mr. Edward.
Audience, adhere to the rules.
Empowerment and opportunities is item number 3 in your manifesto. Briefly explain what it stands for. A minute. Empowerment and opportunities is item number 3 in your manifesto. Briefly explain what it stands for. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. That is one of my manifestos. From the term empowerment, we are here and we are taking different courses. How are we going to be empowered? We have, like, let's take an example of ICT. If we can bring a company like Safaricom, some members come and teach and train these ICT members on how to cope up with the softwares, the emerging softwares in the field, that is what we call empowerment. From the, let's say, building department, we can bring civil engineers who are capable of designing both structural and architectural drawings, interpret to us on how they are doing them and on how are they being successful in their field. So that is what empowerment is. Thank you.
To Mr. John, briefly explain the model of saving circles you plan to establish in KINAP if elected as the Kinapsa president.
You can pardon again the question?
So, briefly explain the model of saving circle you plan to establish in KINAP if elected as the Kinapsa president.
Thank you. This is one of the questions that I was really looking forward to answer. If I was to, we take a statistic here. How many of us are saving and how much have you saved since the time you came in here? That is almost to -0%. Now, how are we going to do this? Very interesting. We are going to have our own KIST student saving circle, whereby you open up your account with only 500 shillings and you can start saving as low as 20 shillings. By the time you're living here, either 2, 3 years or 1 year, that the time that has remained, you'll be having somewhere to start your life. You didn't want to be employed by anybody. You want to be looking for someone to help you so that you can get a connection. For ladies, you can start that thing of putting some nails on other ladies. For the men, you can start doing the shoe things. Thank you so much.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, you intend to foster community and student engagement in KINAP if elected president. Explain what this means and how you plan to go about it. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. According to my manifestos, when I, Ronnie Otieno, elected as the Kinapsa president, then I'll advocate for one, skating activity. And through skating activity, it is also a skill on its own. And it also will help us to secure jobs, even in hotels, to those who are from health and catering department, and generally to us, even in games activity. And therefore, I look forward to advancing the skating activity once elected as the Kinapsa president. Thank you.
Thank you very much, panelists and the candidates. Audience, kindly let's adhere to the rules. You are doing badly. The candidates are okay, the panelists are okay, but the audience, you're not adhering to the rules. This is the last session where we're going to field the questions that you've sent via the link. So they are also candidate specific. Thank you.
Edward Menge, how will you respond to information from the administration which you think are misleading?
Now, thank you for the question. I think the information from the administration is not misreading. The information, it's not reaching us in a correct way and in a correct time. Thank you.
To Mr. John, what realistic changes will you make when elected that will be beneficial to the students?
One, we need, according to my manifesto, if you have gone through it, there is something called sex education. And if you go to the clinic there, go to KIAMBU County Hospital and all hospitals around, you find records for students. I've been in KIAMBU Hospital and I was talking to the clergy who stands in for the hospital and was telling us that the most student comes here because of UTIs. So we need to bring sex education to, in us so that we can be having all those kinds of things that needs for protection as part of our lives. Number two, when I say open forums, if we can have a debate, I strongly believe we can have open forum for students to ask their questions and they are supposed to be answered by the specific office. Number three, if I am elected in terms of sports, we are going to promote that. I'm definitely giving you that. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, students were not paid during Cultural Day, yet you were the finance minister. How accountable will you be if elected the president?
Exactly. That's a good question and a rightful question indeed. If we check the Kinapsa constitution, the work of the CS for finance is to draw the budget and forward the budget to the president. And then the president forwards the budget to the dean of students who furtherly forwards it to a respective place, of which I believe our president forwarded the budget to the dean of students. I admit. And therefore, the process unto which the release was to be done or dealt with was null and void. And therefore, we comrades, we have to understand ourselves. When matters comes to the process, then as the CS for finance, not given that chance to address the issue. And therefore, one of the main reasons as to why I advocate for being the president of KINAP is to actually deal with concerns under financial issues. Thank you.
Mr. Edward.
Audience, when you make noise, you are denying the candidates the chance to hear their question.
What will your government do that is different from other governments? You have 1 minute.
Now, thank you for the question. My government has got strategies on how to improve what the other government was in. The issue is that we are receiving what we are not for. From, let's say, our boarding. From the education docket, the library opening hours, it is from 8. And yet we have those people who are in here, they need to use the library. The crossing hours, it is like now they are almost to be closed. Why should it not be extended to 10 for our fellow comrades to use it fully? Because we have got resources and the others that are missing to be filled up, we use the resources in a fully way. Thank you.
To Mr. John, what impact and legacy are you planning to leave if elected the president, and how will you solve the current student challenges? 1 minute.
Thank you so much. I hope my minute will start now. Yes, I must start by saying that as an accounting officer, it is your role and it is your duty to ensure that everybody, as you draw your budget, it is your duty to ensure that everybody who is entitled to payment has been paid. So there is someone who has been there and did not do his or her job. And I must say that the impact that I'm going to leave here is this, that there are some students here who shall be benefiting very well because I'll leave a connection in between the government, the county government and the sponsors that will be coming around to the students who will be there. The other Kinapsa that will be coming in. Also, there will be that part of students feeling that they are part and parcel of this institution. They make the institution to be the way it is. If the institution doesn't have the student, then that is not an institution. Thank you so much.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, what initiatives will you introduce to help students facing financial difficulties, such as bursary or partnership with external organizations? You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. One thing we have to admit, in our school fee, every student pays 300 shillings per head, and it is always done per semester. And therefore, within that 300 shillings, it is equivalent to roughly 2.1 million. Roughly, that's per semester to the students within the session. And therefore, I'll advocate for more comrades to apply for the bursaries. And then, via a dialogue with the administration, at least they have got different connections. They can connect us with the county government so that we get the ward bursaries, the county bursaries, and also if there is any means that the needy students can be helped, I think that is the right time for a rising need. Thank you.
Mr. Edward Menge, how will you handle the issue of gate pass, bearing in mind students are supposed to attend a 75% of all classes? 1 minute.
Now, thank you for the question. We as comrades, we get operation from the same issue. As comrade, in the morning will rise from his house, he will come to the gate and be forced to go back to his place. He will stay there for a week or two and he will come back. For instance, he will have not been covered the topics that he was supposed to cover, and also the skills he has not acquired them. Why should we not get a plan that students will pay school fees bit by bit for we to get it and time for we to study and make payment? Because at all, we are going to pay that money. What if you fail in exams? You are going to pay for another extra money to take the reverse, of which we don't advocate for it. We as comrades, we are here to champion for it, and I will ensure that we negotiate for the better. Thank you.
To Mr. John, give the strategies you have to keep the administration accountable on students' welfare.
Thank you.
1 minute.
Thank you. When I said that open forums, that actually answers that question. Because the administration income, the way you're asking me a direct question, Mr. John, that is the same way that we shall be directing a question. Madam, this, what has this and this and this have been done? Why is it has been so? So I say strongly that those open forums will be coming along so that we can hold everybody accountable and so that we can have transparency and honesty in terms of our administration. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno, since opening day of this term, there are comrades who have not attended a single class due to non-payment of school fee. How will you tackle this menace and ensure comrades with free balance can learn? 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. Actually, school fee is a rising factor on board, and we have to admit. And again, on school fee matters, there must be a dialogue between the administration and us comrades, because most of us comrades do stand in for their school fees. That is 1. 2, via an open forum, we comrades, when we are addressed and a solution is made, in that a duration is given, or we do away with the gate pass, and I know there will be need for the fee card. But at least it is an advanced time, because we comrades, we are in need of knowledge, actually. Exams we can do with knowledge, but without knowledge we cannot do exams. Thank you.
Mr. Edward Menge, kindly make your closing remark. You have 2 minutes.
Now, thank you. As we are winding up, I'm going to make my closing remarks as I am Edward Menge. My opponents have spoken what is in their mind, but I think for what they have spoken, I'm up to the task. I will invite them to my office. We share those thoughts. Once in the office, we will do them better. And again, I'm here to say that I know that comrades are my bosses, and I am here to work for you. Once a boss tells you that I need this, you need to do it as he tells you. And if you are not doing it, you might be fired. Is it okay? Now I'm here to work for you. I will dedicate my time. I work for the comrades, and the comrades will get the exact thing they came for, which are skills and to explore in this world. Thank you. Thank you.
To Mr. John Washori, kindly make your closing remarks. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. Having heard every point and every person speaking their own manifesto and how they have responded their questions, that gives the comrade an opportunity to give their vote to the right candidate. So every right belongs to you to give the right candidate the votes so that they can start working as I have been working for my sub-county, and also I'm going to be so much dedicated in serving you. Those who we have served with, some of them are here, they can tell. When I dedicate myself to it, I am for it. I am for it. And I can give so many examples around, and I'm so much available in terms of where people can allocate me. Mostly I am around this place. If I'm not around here, I am in the cafeteria. So I want to give you opportunity, comrades. Give Armstrong your votes. Armstrong is going to stand for you. Armstrong is never intimidated, is never manipulated. He knows his ground. He knows what he's supposed to do, at what time he's supposed to do it, and he knows how to serve the people, and he knows who he should be serving. Thank you so much, and enjoy your evening.
Mr. Ronnie Otieno. Mr. Ronnie Otieno, kindly make your closing remarks. You have 2 minutes.
Actually, I am glad, at the same time, I'm honored to be in this great conversation together with my fellow comrades and the administration at hand. I, Ronnie Otieno, I am passionate. At the same time, I am experienced, and I'm ready and I'm deeply committed in serving the comrades. As an assurity, I am a second year, and I'll rather wish to vie for the same docket come next year. So once given this chance, I'll have to advocate and I'll have to deliver for the betterment of we comrades. Thank you.
Silence. Thank you very much. Let's have silence. Thank you, aspiring presidential candidates. Thank you, panelists. The audience, we say you've not been so good, but so far, so good. Kindly don't leave. Something very nice is going to be served at the end of everything. And silence. Silence, please. So each of you has had the opportunity to listen to the presidential candidates. It's you to make your choice during the ballot. So kindly show up and make sure that you vote for your favorite candidate on the voting day. Otherwise, screaming here, clapping and laughing, and yet you do not vote will be of no use to the candidate. Thank you very much. I now invite the Dean to make a closing remark. Then we'll have prayer by Madam Suchi. You've been great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's clap for them. Let's clap for them again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to take this opportunity. Let's just hold on. I want to take this opportunity to sincerely thank God Almighty for having given us this opportunity that we gather here and listen to such a debate. And I want to say that this is the best way for us to go as KINAP, that is the KIAMBU National Polytechnic, because we give our aspirants, apart from the time that they have had to campaign outside there, we give them an opportunity to communicate to us and share to us their ideas and manifestos so that we can be able to make informed decision. I also want to thank all the student body who have come and have sat down here, and I want to ask that you clap for yourself. Thank you. Thank you for that. I also want to thank the panelists that were here, headed by Trainer Judy. I want to thank the technical team that was handling the PA system. I want to thank the live streaming team that was also headed by Brother James for the good work that you've done. And we say that may God bless you so much. The team, Judy, Mr. Gidara Chuchu, Kirui, we appreciate you so much. And the wonderful panelists who are asking questions, our students, we are very proud of you, of what you've done, and we wish you well. To the administrations who are around, beginning from the Deputy Principal Academics, Madam Aelo Mukeda, Mr. Alex, we call him Teacher Black and White. He says as it is. We appreciate you for coming, and we also appreciate our registrar for attending this great event. I also want to finally thank our presidential candidates. I want to believe that we have given them the platform to choose. And I want to announce one thing. If you've not heard anything, on these candidates, the administration will accept any student of the 3 that will be able to vote as the president of Kinapsa. So as we are waiting for the day that we are going to vote, and we will welcome to the office, plus the other slots. The last announcement that I want to make, the campaigns came to an end. Today we did a process that we call simulation with the candidates, and they are aware of what is supposed to be together with their agents. Now on Thursday, voting will start at exactly 8 in the morning. It will start at exactly 8 in the morning, and it will close at exactly 3 p.m. After that, at 3:30, we will gather at Green Hall, where we shall be able to announce the candidates, or those that you have chosen to be in Kinapsa government. So may God bless you, may God keep you until we meet again. We pray that the candidates that you are going to choose will be able to elevate our institution to great heights. Having said that, may God bless you, may God keep you. I invite the one who was doing the closing prayer for us. Karibu.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Let's all arise for a word of prayer. Let's pray. God, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, it's another moment we come before Thee with thanksgiving in our hearts. We thank you for a successful presidential debate that is coming to a close. We call upon you to bless our institution of KINAP and all the administration, the staff, and the Kinapsa fraternity. We are calling upon you to grant us peace during the elections on Thursday, so that when it shall all end successfully, all glory and honor unto your name. As we depart back home, we are calling upon you to grant us journey mercies, O Lord. In Jesus' name I pray and believe. Amen.
Can we say the grace? And now with the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you. Have a good evening.
In 1972, a mammoth fundraising Harambee was held at Kirigiti Stadium, KIAMBU, presided over by the then President of Kenya, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. A total of 4.2 million Kenyan shillings was raised, a staggering amount in those days. On the same occasion, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta launched KIST and became its first patron. The first foundation stone of the institute was laid by the late President Mzee Jomo Kenyatta on 3rd August 1974. 50 years down the line, the growth is vivid. The dream and vision of the people of KIAMBU to establish a middle-level institute to provide technical education to secondary school leavers shines. The institution has made strides in achieving its vision and mission as a center of excellence in TVET training, contributing towards Kenya becoming an industrialized country as per Vision 2030. Missioned itself in providing and promoting quality training in science and innovations through emerging technologies by providing courses focused on giving learners skills that will enable them to fit in the job markets. We further engaged the principal of the KIAMBU National Polytechnic in laying more emphasis on the 50 years journey, the school's elevation from a TVET institution to a TVETA-accredited National Polytechnic, and the strategic plan.
My name is Sami Waititu. I'm the principal of the KIAMBU National Polytechnic. Formerly we were known as KIST and fondly so, and now we have been upgraded to a National Polytechnic. This is the highest level that a TVET institution in Kenya can go to. So we are proud of that. The institute was started way back in 1973. So last year we celebrated 50 years, which we normally call the Golden Jubilee. So we started around September 1973 with 125 students with the 2 academic departments. And over the years we have grown. As we talk, we have 8 academic departments, and our population as of September last year, when we were celebrating, was 9,200 students. That's quite a phenomenal growth. So that's where we are. We have grown not just in terms of academic programs, but also in terms of infrastructure. We have enough rooms, enough classrooms, enough workshops, enough labs, kitchens, and restaurants, and also administrative offices to cater for that big population comfortably. The biggest milestone should be the growth is in number of programs from 4 in 1973 to 68 programs at the moment. So we have been using the mainly theory-based mode of training, but now as from last year we now moved to CBET, which is a competency-based mode of training. When considering an upgrade, the government will normally look at the kind of infrastructure that you have. And anybody coming to KIST will tell. In fact, many don't think it is a technical institution. They think it is a university. Okay, that's our status. We are already there. But then we know that we have a very important mandate of training manpower, and particularly the workers. Those who are hands-on, those who are able to make things happen. That's our mandate. So in terms of infrastructure, we are there, equal to any university that you can think about. So that is one thing that is considered. We also have enough adequate staff, where the government provides a majority of them, and where we don't get enough, we supplement with those hired by the council. So we have a large piece of land, adequate for our current use and future growth. That is another consideration. Again, our performance in terms of the graduates we have released to the market. They are known for their performance. So those are the things that were considered, and then we were found to be fit. We know this was long overdue. And so we are happy that it finally happened after some wait for some years because of the government procedures and protocols.
KINAP is located along KIAMBU Road, KIAMBU County, 15 kilometers from Nairobi CBD. It is part of a 200-acre coffee farm. With a population of 9,200 students, there is a need to have a link between the students and the administration. That being said, the gap is filled by the Dean of Students.
My name is Isaac Nyakundi Mukaya. I'm the Dean of Students for this great institution called KIAMBU National Polytechnic, formerly known as KIST. And we thank God that we have recently been elevated to a national polytechnic, and we're here so that we can be able to serve the nation. KIAMBU National Polytechnic is a very big institution. It has close to 10,000 students. At the moment, I think we're around 9,200. And those students coming from 8 academic departments. My role, or this office of the Dean of Students, just as the name suggests, is basically in charge of student welfare. And when we talk about student welfare, it is very wide, but we look at some of them includes acting like a link between not only the staff, but also to the administration of the institution. I link the student body with the staff and administration so that for their needs to be met, that is the academic need, which is our core business. So I'm able to link our students to the staff and also to administration, air out their issues, concerns. Of course, in any society, there are concerns that come up. So the students' concern, I am the one who air them out to both the staff and also to the administration in general.
Baking being one of the pioneer departments, KINAP boasts of being the best institution in the country that offers the required skills for the job market. Evidently, we have success stories as we hear from the head of department, Madam Alice Gitika.
This is a department that offers mainly 2 courses. One, baking technology, and also nutrition and dietetics. In baking technology, we have 3 courses. We have artisan in baking technology, which takes about 1 year. We also have certificate in baking technology. Currently is being referred to as level 5. It takes about 2 years. We also have diploma in baking technology. Currently with the CBET curriculum, it is being referred as level 6. It takes about 3 years. This is an area that deals with baking. And in baking, we also have 2 or 3 main areas. We have bread making. This is bread and the products that are related with bread. We also have confectionery. Using the layman's language, we will talk of cakes and the sweet items that we find in the market, which we usually take with tea. Then we also have pastries. Pastries are also items that we take with tea, which are not exactly very sweet, but they have some savouriness in them. So that is the main area of baking.
To elaborate more about the hospitality department and skills offered to the learner in preparedness to the job market in the country, we decided to visit the HOD, Madam Eunice Ireri.
My name is Eunice Ireri. I'm the head of Department Hospitality. In the department, I also teach food and beverage service and nutrition. In our department, we offer 3 basic broad areas. So we have food and beverage production and service. We offer it at craft level and diploma level. We have culinary arts, still in the food and beverage service and production. We have housekeeping and accommodation, which is offered at diploma level and certificate level. And we have fashion design, also offered at diploma and certificate level. Our courses are skill-based. So we normally have students equipped in skills that are very relevant in the job market.
How would you call it an institution without blocks? How would we be mesmerized by the beauty of a city without buildings? We cannot create a home without buildings. KINAP boasts of offering the best skills in the field, as the head of department, Madam Naomi Kihara, explains.
Building and Civil Engineering Department is divided into 6 sections currently, according to the way a building is divided. When you're building, you start with the design. The design part is we offer architecture, diploma in architecture, and diploma in civil engineering. Then you have building. When now the building has been designed, it is now built. The one who builds, we offer diploma in building technology. Then we have diploma in quantity surveying Those ones quantify the building in terms of labor, in terms of materials needed, so that now the client can know the cost of the material. Then you have craft certificate. Craft certificate we have in plumbing. Those ones are responsible in installing water, wastewater and clean water, and also water harvesting. Then you have carpentry and joinery, that is CCJ, that is craft certificate in carpentry and joinery. Those ones are basically do the wardrobes, the ceilings, and any fittings in the house. Then you have craft certificate in building constructions. Those ones do masonry, carpentry, and plumbing. They are the technicians that now build the building.
We also want to engage in short-term and online courses. One of the courses that we are targeting is baking, which should start by the end of this calendar year, where we want to train persons in their homes, and we are targeting mainly ladies, so that one does not have to leave her home or leave a kid at home, but will be able to give training, both theory and practical, from the comfort of their homes. Then once in a while, maybe once in a fortnight, one will come to the institute, go through some practicals, see the teachers, and feel the heat from our ovens, and also get the smell of the foods, because that is the only thing that cannot be communicated. But that is what the one way we want to go. I also want to say that as a national polytechnic, we need to provide more access. We understand that we have ladies who get in the family way before they complete school. We want to give them opportunities. And one thing that we are establishing is a lactating center, so that in the, I don't know, want to call it the unfortunate event, but if it happens that you are still a student and you have a child, you don't have to drop out of school. You can still come with your child, breastfeed the child, because we need a healthy nation. And this is one thing that we want to do as a national polytechnic. It is not common, but we are going to have one.
The KIAMBU National Polytechnic actively participates in climate mitigation efforts through a dedicated tree nursery. We cultivate saplings that, upon reaching maturity, are transferred to fields, contributing to national reforestation goals. This initiative reflects our commitment to supporting the President's ambitious vision of planting 30 billion trees by 2027, impacting both our institution and the wider environment. National status is just a drop of rain in the ocean. Meeting the strategic plan is the aim, to make KIAMBU National Polytechnic the world-class TVET in the near future. The journey is on.